Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again, as usual, from now on, I am announcing not a new channel, I already have fucking 4 channels. I am announcing a new intro, and I know, for some reason, that's like a big deal. I never thought that, but when I started YouTube, I looked at all these people and they acted like if you started differently for every video, then it would be like some huge risk to your channel. That's really weird to me. But I guess it is really a big deal. So I am good from now on, since you know how Safi is. I mean, she will be doing a review of Peacemaker tomorrow. But for the most part, she's never really on this channel because she doesn't really care. So from now on, I'm going to start saying, hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, blah, blah, blah. And as usual, it's Marco here. That's what I'm going to do because I think it's more fitting. So anyways, I just decided to take a gamble on this new movie that came out a day ago, I think. On what day is it? I don't even care anymore what day it is. Like, all I do is every day I focus on doing what I'm doing. You know, I don't even really focus on what day it is or anything. I guess it's the 19th? Yeah. Came out yesterday. It's called Entropy. Entropy. Is that how you say it? Okay, I hope it is. It's a new horror film, and let's just... it's hard to talk about it because it definitely, there's a lot of spoilers. And if I say much, it's just going to automatically, take you completely out of the movie because you'll know the whole movie, what's going to happen. It's going to be really, probably not as good of an experience. So I'm just going to try to remain spoiler-free and then give it my rating and then get into spoilers as much as possible, as fast as possible, I should say, because I'm already 2 minutes in. It's hard to say if I like this or not, because on one hand, I was really into it when it started off. I love the posters. I thought that the posters look really nice and colorful, and I like the designs on them. And as the movie went on, I was really liking it. But then at a certain point, it just kind of fell apart for me completely. I was getting excited because I thought if it keeps up like it's keeping up, then this will be one of the best movies of the year, maybe. Because and I know that's early to say, but I really love movies like this where it's new ideas, it's original ideas, it's low budget, which means that they're focusing on what matters, which is story, character, script. To me, I think that is the most important thing of a movie. And that's something that I've come to realize, because, you watch movies like Hitchcock's movies, and the script doesn't really matter for them because of the way that they're shot. Hitchcock could turn the most boring script in the world into a great movie because of the visuals and the sound utilization. And but I've started to realize that movies nowadays, they need really, really good scripts because they need that backbone. They need they need something that holds everything together, or else it's all going to fall apart. Because this movie, it's perfectly made, except for the script. The script is the only thing in this movie that I was having problems with as the movie went on. I was like, wow, I really like these actors. I like all of them. I think that the main character, I liked her. But at certain points, her character makes some strange decisions. Of course, all of them do. And that's sort of an issue with this movie. is that characters make very quick decisions. They make decisions that are so fast that it doesn't even seem like they're thinking about it. It just seems like they're playing a part. You know what I mean? Like it's like they're just doing what their characters need to do at certain points instead of what a person would really do in real life. And at certain points that was kind of irritating. But I really did like the actors in this movie. I liked all of them. You know, there wasn't really a bad one. I mean, one of the main characters, Scott, he I guess he's one of the writers. Him and his brother, I think, they wrote this movie and made it together, which that's pretty cool. Lucky. He was pretty good. It was sort of distracting with him at first because he looks like a chubby Bradley Cooper mixed with Dan Stevens. And so, like, the whole movie, I was just thinking about Dan Stevens and Bradley Cooper. Like, this is their long-lost cousin who, you know, they never really reach out to him, and he's got to make movies all by himself in Ohio. Like, that's what I was thinking watching this. It was... But then as the movie went on, he was pretty good, and he had the most dialogue out of everybody, which I think some people would say that, I don't know, I think that other characters should have gotten more towards the end, because everything really fell apart for me after a certain point, and he really got the most out of everyone. Him, and then the main girl, Abby. Is it Abby, and then her girlfriend is Miranda? So this movie is all about this girl and her girlfriend, and they're going to a party, or not really a party, like a little dinner party with this girl's friends, and they all got into the self-help thing, the self-help group called like Fleece Fall or Free Balls or Fleece Balls. I don't know. It's some weird group. It's some really weird group that, you know, I would never want to be a part of them. And as you can probably guess, things go weird, things go crazy, and the main girl has cancer, ovarian cancer, and I guess maybe something's going to happen with that. You know, I don't want to say anything really. I don't want to give anything away. You know, because I would say, you know, go watch it and support it. It's a smaller movie. And, you know, something else is that there's something that I really loved about this movie. And it's probably the only horror movie that's been able to accomplish this in the past couple of years or more. This movie had an incredible mood. And I saw a couple people already said that on IMDb. I kind of look at what people say after I watch a movie to see, like, do people agree with me? What's the consensus? And the mood is really fantastic. It starts off immediately. The first shot, the opening shot, you already are in a different mood, a different world in this film. They played this really good mood music throughout the whole movie. I loved the music. It was so moody and so 80s, and it just, not like 80s and like a goofy, like a, like not that type of electronic, you know, type of way, but like in terms of a moody 80s music. Like a, okay, I don't want to sound like I'm mentally insane, but I love the music, and the music just fit so well. And this movie was shot so well too. There were some great shots. That I love the fact too that people ate in this movie. Like, that's a little pet peeve that goes along with a lot of films, is that people will have platefuls of food and they never eat. They never eat it at all. They don't eat anything. Have you guys ever seen the movie Meatballs? Or Meatball, whatever. Balls. Probably Fleece Meatballs with Bill Murray. There's this one scene where he orders a basket of fries with ketchup and he puts ketchup all over them, and he sits there with this kid, and then they just leave the restaurant. They just leave the fries. They just leave these poor little fries with ketchup all over them, and it is heartbreaking. And there's a strawberry shake with whipped cream and a cherry, and this piece of shit kid, he just leaves that strawberry shake there, and they just leave it there, and it's horrible. I hate it when people do that in movies. It pisses me off. Some people, they don't like that in movies that people don't go to the bathroom. I'm fine with that. We don't need to see that. I mean, there are so many movies nowadays where people they're just whizzing on screen, and it's like, why? But this movie, thank the Lord, because this movie, people eat. The people in this movie's universe, they eat food. They like to eat because you gotta eat to live. The people in this movie, they know that they gotta eat. I mean, the opening couple of minutes, the Abby, she's eating breakfast, and she's got this sexy eggs and bacon going on this plate. It made my mouth water, and she ate it, and I just love that. That's so refreshing to see characters eat in a movie, because for some reason there are certain cliches that have gone on since the 1900s, and they're still in movies, even though it's 2022. But there were some really good shots in this movie as well. Not just the eggs and bacon, but there was this, I really love this shot where Dan Stevens / Bradley Cooper, Scott, his character was doing this monologue. And now I will say, this monologue is extremely important to the film. If you miss a single syllable of that monologue when you're watching this movie, then you are not going to understand the rest of the movie. It is just one big fat exposition dump of information, but afterwards it starts off, it's him in close up, or I guess like a medium-ish, and it just slowly zooms out. And as it zooms out, you have the two characters over in front of him, and they're all at a table and they're talking. And then it just slowly zooms out, and you have two more characters talking, and then slowly zooming out. And I loved that shot. I love shots like that, where you have a lot going on in one shot, and it's just this layers upon layers, and it looks so good too. The way that it looked at this night lighting, it looks so good. It looked like a professional. If you told me this movie was made for $10, I would be shocked. Because if I just had to guess, I would guess this was made for $1 million. Because it looked that way. The shots, just everything looks so good. And near the end, they had this really great lighting where they brought in the crazy, pink, purple lighting, and all these great night shots, and it looks so good. It looks so cool and so creepy, and this was a well-made movie. And this is the second movie of this level that I've seen recently where they did a really good job with the technical aspects of making this movie. And so I really have to applaud them for that, because usually with movies that are this level, these small budget movies, usually people just try to focus on their story, and then they just leave the technical stuff by the side. And I really appreciated the great camera work this movie. It just looks so good. It's just a shame that the script was not as good. I would give, if I had to, now I'm going to rate this movie in terms of food after I say a few more things. But if I had to rate in terms of a letter grade, if I had to rate the technical aspects of this movie, the technical filmmaking, just everything except for the script, I would give that an A+. I loved it. I thought perfect music, perfect lighting, perfect camera shots, perfect acting. I loved all that stuff. Even the effects, the effects were like a B+. But they used what they had, and there was only one shot that looked really... It was really funny, actually. I'll talk about that in spoilers. It was... But to be honest, it reminded me a bit of a Tim Burton movie. The effects in this movie really reminded me of Beetlejuice. Some of the effects, and so I thought that was really cool. And also another movie would be the Twilight Zone movie, where you have the kid and he's got the powers. That story, the shitty version of that story. I guess I hate that movie, but the effects in that part were really good, and they reminded me of those, but they still kind of But the script, I would say, is like a C-/D+. They definitely had some good ideas. I like the ideas presented, that you could tell there were these little kernels of good ideas. I really liked the script up to the halfway point, but after the halfway point, everything fell apart, sadly. And I could tell this was shot in Ohio too. That's for damn sure. Like, I can tell when a creek is an Ohio creek, and I just thought that was funny too. I was like, where was this shot? I bet this was shot in Ohio or Indiana. And then I looked and I was like, oh shit, it was shot in Ohio. I was kind of surprised, but then I wasn't really. So in terms of food, I like this movie kinda, but I kinda didn't. Like, it's really tough, because Scream, that was a more entertaining movie because it had more going on, but it was worse. And so how do I even begin to compare this to other movies I've already seen this year? Since it's just that one issue, it's always that one issue nowadays. The script, it's always the script. It's always a problem. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. And I think part of the reason is that writers are afraid to write what they want to write. And I think that they're afraid that they won't be able to get their movie made if they write certain things in a script. I think if they make things too over the top, too crazy, I think, because this movie felt a little bit like it held back, especially in the second half. And I think that that's really because of the times that we're in. And I think that might be an issue. That might be why scripts are suffering nowadays, is because people hold back. They hold back their creativity, and you shouldn't hold back at all. I mean, my script, I wrote it, and, I had a couple of Karens complain about it. But other than that, everyone loved it. And, but anyways, take chances and write everything that you want to write. And don't hold back, because it's only going to hurt you. In 10 years, people aren't going to be remembering movies like The 355 or Ghostbusters 2016. They're going to be remembering movies that actually do things, and do original things, do creative things, and do whatever they want to do, and not be held back and constrained by political agendas and all that crap. So I would give this movie, as a kid, something that I ate all the time. For some reason, this is what I'm going to give it. I have no idea why. as a kid, I would always eat that yogurt where it was in a pouch. I think it was called Go-Gurt, and you put it. It's this long pouch, and it's two colors, and both flavors are pretty damn good. And then you eat it, and then at the end of it, you're like, I wanted more. I think that is a really good representation of the film, the way that it's fun and it's really well made and everything, but it really needed a better script in the second half. And I'll explain in the spoilers why, because that I've been talking 20 minutes, but it's really hard to talk about this movie without spoiling. So without further ado, and what flavors I would say is probably just the typical strawberry banana, and I just wanted to get that out there in case anyone was wondering. Strawberry banana Go-Gurt. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I like a little Go-Gurt snack. I don't really eat it now because I'm on a diet. I'm on a quote-unquote diet. I'm trying to be. So I don't like the snack now, but if I was a kid still and I would be snacking all the time like I used to, then I would definitely like to have a Go-Gurt snack like this movie. Now, in terms of spoilers, basically, it is straight up Rosemary's Baby, in a sense. And I knew that. You know when I knew that? I knew that as soon... No, number one, I knew that as soon as I read the summary. Because it says like a group of friends, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, it's going to be Rosemary's Baby, where the friends are all in like a cult or something. You know what I mean? And... but I knew for sure, as soon as Miranda gave Abby the drink, and Abby says, "This has a chalky taste. It has a little chalky aftertaste. Ew." And I was like, God damn! Come on! Like, yeah, because last year I just saw Don't Let Her In, which was a full moon movie. And they did the same thing. It was another Rosemary's Baby movie where you had this demon girl, and she would make these gross vegan shakes every day and force feed them to the blonde girl, whatever her name was. And I think she even says, "This has a chalky aftertaste." And it's like, is everyone like, that's for some reason, like, whatever movie is based off of Rosemary's Baby, every single one of them has got to have a chalky aftertaste. Like, every single one. Like, what is it with Rosemary's Baby ripoffs and chalky aftertastes? I was like, you know what, you should not have done that, because I know what's going on now. Okay, I know that the girlfriend is evil, just like how in Rosemary's Baby, was he her husband? The husband was evil. I know now because of that little tiny clue. And if you had just said like, the tangy, it's just some other word, the title of this movie, you came up with a weird title, Entropy. I don't know. I've never heard of Entropy before I heard of this movie. I heard of Canopy. I've heard of other words like that. So you were able to come up with a different title for the movie. So you should have come up with a different taste for the drink than to just have the typical, this has a chalky aftertaste. And it looked like it was a Frost flavored Gatorade or something. She's drinking this Gatorade bottle. She's like, ugh. And her girlfriend's like, drink up. And you know what's going to happen. Anyways. So there's this big twist where the boyfriend, Scott, he went to Africa, which he doesn't look like he went to Africa at all. Like, my parents went to Africa, you could tell, you can tell that they did. This guy, just something about him. He doesn't look like he traveled to Africa at all. He looks like a typical, like a Wonder Bread wonder, and he never been to Africa. He's never been to Kenya or Tanzania or any of that shit. But he says he did, and he says that he saw like a town that was full of fleece balls, and all these animals. They were inside out, and they were gross, and it was like they were all monsters. Sorry, and the people there, they worshipped this flesh ball hanging somewhere. And flash forward to nowadays, they all drugged the girlfriend's drink, Abby. And then, at a certain point, she actually discovers Scott drugging the drinks, which you expect because the first half, Scott is very creepy. He's quiet. He does this queer thing where he's contemplative, and he's looking at the camera, like he's doing little winks and nods at the camera, like, ooh, I'm pretty sinister. I got something sinister going on with me. And then in the second half, the twist is that he's actually the good guy, which I thought that was a good twist. I like that. And he says that the drug that he put in the drink was to counteract the drug in the drink that they already put there, this fleece ball seed. And she was going to drink the balls, and then she was going to die, or she's going to have some monster come out of her. And she does. I mean, she's standing there. I think she stabs herself or something, and then under her dress comes out like these big meat flaps that just are hanging down, like these monstrous paper mache meat flaps. But from then on, it just becomes a series of chaotic mishaps with this group of people, because they all took the seeds too. They wanted to drink them fleeced balls too, and they wanted to get some entropy up in them. And so all of them, they got these little prosthetics, and there's this one shot that was probably one of the funniest shots I have ever seen, where the bald guy was creepy. He was creepy as hell. You really, like, he was a good choice to play a bad guy, because he was creepy. He was talking about how he had this boyfriend in high school, and then he broke him, and really, really, creepy, ugh. He would have been the perfect main villain for this movie, in the sense that, like the neighbor in the original Rosemary's Baby. He would have been perfect. And he was a villain, but this Joe Rogan looking guy, he has the fleece balls, they grew out his arms to where they're like a ring, and he's got this guy in his under his arms, and he's strangling him with this paper mache ring. It was the funniest thing. He's like, and this guy's like, ah! It was just so funny. And it's so... he's got... He's just got his arms ringed. He's like, help! And he's like, ah! It's just, and it's so, oh my God. Oh my. oh, oh, oh. And not only that, it's weird because, like, he's standing over the top of this wall, and his ring arms are, like, hanging down over the wall to strangle the person. It is the it is supposed to be this really crazy moment where all the balls are coming out of them in various forms, monstrosities, and I like that idea. I thought, that's a good idea. That this whole group, I guess they're just so dumb they're gonna kill themselves. But then, this weird thing happens where the Scott guy, Chubb Stevens Cooper, he is in this, like, dream, or this, you think maybe that, like, oh shit, even though it kills you, it takes you to a better place, like a heaven, or like a utopia. This utopian Ohio Creek that is, so I guess, like, the greatest place on earth is this creek. I mean, I can guarantee you, I would bet you a single penny, that this creek, this area, has some sort of importance to the people who made this movie, because they like this pretty creek area where it's a nice, peaceful, calm little creek area. It looks like you could go out there and have some sub sandwiches and shit, that type of creek area. And he goes there, and then he sees the main two girls, and they're worshiping the fleece ball, flesh ball thing. And then he comes over to touch it for some reason. I mean, I would never want to touch that thing. It looked like tripe. It looked like, a cow stomach lining. Like, ugh. I would never want to touch whatever that ball is. But he touches it, and then he's brought back to reality, and then the main girl, she's attacking him, and then he like chops off her arms, which that was pretty cool. And then the other guys come, and they continue to kill her, and then he gets away. Like, it's just so confusing at the end. Everything just suddenly turns into complete nonsense, in a way that, isn't really good. It's more along the lines of, like, okay, what am I watching? And, honestly, I was being distracted by Safi. She wanted me to do something. And so, while I was watching, I was slightly distracted. So maybe it was because of her. I don't know. But still, the movie just could turn to complete mess at the end. And I thought it was sad because they had these good ideas that really just didn't pan out. I mean, at the end, I think, does Scott get killed? I mean, I can't even remember, and I just watched it. So, I mean, it really delved in, it just went into complete nonsense. But still, I would highly recommend that you give this movie a shot, because it has a fantastic mood, music. It's shot really well. It has some great fun lighting, and you need to support these smaller horror movies instead of going to see, these shitty Blumhouse horror movies that suck donkey dick. And because, if these guys, if they get enough support, they're going to make another movie, and maybe that movie will be better in terms of the script. And, maybe I hope so much to see more of that bald guy taking his prosthetic ring arm and strangling a guy over a wall. It was so funny. That's the best part of the movie, honestly. That was like at the end of the year, I am literally gonna just mention, for this movie, this is the movie that had the bald guy strangling another guy with his prosthetic arm ring thing. Like, it was that funny. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment. Tell me what you thought about Entropy, because, you know, there were people who really liked it, and so I'm glad. I'm glad that this movie is getting attention, and it's getting people who will give it a chance, even though it's not some big, huge movie. You know, horror movies don't really require to be studio movies. That's the thing. That's why horror should not be dead like it is right now. Because horror is not a genre that requires people to put billions into it and then put, you know, star actors like, you know, I don't know, whoever is hot nowadays, Gal Gadot. You know, horror movies don't require Gal Gadot to be good. You know, they just require a good script and good filmmaking, like the people who made this movie. Good job. And all the actors, I can't wait to see more of them. So yeah, please subscribe to our channel, and then yeah, goodbye everybody. See you soon.